Have you ever stopped to think about what happens the moment money touches your hand? For most people, it's just another transaction, something to spend, something to save, something to stress over. But what if I told you that every time money enters your life, you are activating a spiritual and practical law that determines whether it will multiply or disappear? Money is not just paper, not just numbers on a screen. It is influence, it is seed, it is a servant waiting for your command. And here's the shocking truth: money doesn't stay neutral. It either increases or it decreases depending on what you do with it. Some of you listening right now have been working harder than ever, but still feel like money slips away before the month ends. Others have seen unexpected breakthroughs only to watch the increase vanish without a trace. And then there are people who seem to multiply whatever little they touch, while you wonder what's their secret. This message will show you exactly why, because money does not multiply by accident. It multiplies by principle. And if you learn how to handle it correctly, every dollar, every coin, every transfer can become a seed that grows into something far greater than what you first received. So today, I want you to lean in, open your heart, and prepare your mind. Because once you understand the laws that govern money, you will never look at it the same way again. Every time you touch money after this moment, you will recognize its power, and you'll be shocked at how fast it begins to multiply in your hands. Every time money enters your hand, you are holding more than just currency. You are holding possibility. Think of a seed. By itself, it looks small, fragile, and almost insignificant. But within that seed lies an entire forest, fields of harvest, and generations of provision. Money works exactly the same way. It carries within it the potential to multiply far beyond its present size. The tragedy is that many treat money as a fruit to be consumed immediately, not as a seed to be planted for the future. When a farmer receives seeds, he does not rush to eat them. He knows that consuming them all would bring short-term satisfaction but long-term emptiness. Instead, he plants them, waters them, and waits. What begins as one seed eventually produces many. This is the same principle with money. If every time you receive money, you spend it all without planting, you guarantee that multiplication never occurs. Consider the story of a young man who received a modest inheritance. Instead of investing or starting something sustainable, he spent it on clothes, parties, and a new car. Within months, the money was gone. He had consumed his seed. Contrast that with another who received a much smaller amount, but chose to invest in education, skill, building, and a small business. Over time, that seed produced streams of income that sustained him for years. The difference wasn't the amount of money received, it was how the seed was treated. Your money will multiply only when you stop asking, "What can I buy today?" and start asking, "What can I plant for tomorrow?" This shift changes everything. Whether it's investing in knowledge, building assets, supporting a cause that keeps producing, or funding a vision, money grows when it's planted. Just as a farmer never doubts that a seed will yield a harvest, you must hold the same faith about the money you plant. Prayer is powerful. Prayer invites divine blessing, protection, and wisdom, but prayer without principle produces frustration. Too many people pray for financial breakthroughs while ignoring the very laws God designed for money. Just as gravity will not suspend itself because you prayed, financial principles will not change because you are emotional. Imagine someone praying for a harvest, but never planting any seed. They can fast for 40 days, sing hymns, and declare faith, but if no seed is in the ground, no harvest will appear. The same is true financially. You cannot pray away irresponsibility, poor management, or reckless spending. Multiplication comes when prayer and principle work together. Principle is what gives structure to blessing. For example, if you pray for increase but fail to budget, the money will slip through your fingers. If you ask God for promotion but refuse to improve your skills, you remain unqualified. If you desire wealth but cannot discipline your spending, even miracles won't sustain you. Multiplication doesn't happen through shortcuts. It happens through obedience to principles. Consider the simple act of saving. Research shows that even setting aside 10% of income consistently can transform long-term financial stability. That's not magic, it's principle. Or take investing. A small but consistent investment in a retirement account or business often grows far more than people expect over decades. Why? Because principles compound results. Prayer positions you for favor, but principle preserves the fruit of that favor. One without the other creates imbalance. If you only pray, you end up spiritual but broke. If you only follow principles without prayer, you may gain wealth but lack the wisdom to keep it. When both align, money doesn't just stay with you. It multiplies through you. Money in itself has no personality. It simply mirrors the one who holds it. A person with a small mindset sees money only as a tool for survival. The moment they receive it, they think of bills, groceries, or temporary pleasures. On the other hand, someone with a growth mindset sees the same amount of money as a resource for expansion, investment, and future building. The difference is not the money, it's the mind. This explains why so many lottery winners lose everything within a few years. Studies show that nearly 70% of them go broke despite winning millions. Their mindset never changed. Their environment changed, their bank account changed, but their thinking stayed the same. They carried a poverty mentality into prosperity, and as a result, prosperity could not stay with them. If your thoughts are limited, your money will be limited. If your thinking expands, your money will expand. For example, a woman who views $100 as an opportunity might invest it into learning a new skill online. That skill could lead to a new career or side business that generates thousands. Meanwhile, another person with the same $100 may see it only as a night out at a restaurant, leaving nothing behind. Both touched the same amount of money, but the mindset determined the outcome. Transforming your finances begins with transforming your mind. That's why financial education is so critical. Books, mentors, and experiences reshape your perspective so that money works for you instead of against you. When your mindset is focused on growth, stewardship, and purpose, every dollar becomes a tool that multiplies instead of a toy that disappears. Money cannot exceed the limits of your mind. If your thinking is small, your wealth will shrink to match it. But if your mind is enlarged, your resources will rise to meet it. Money is drawn to structure. Without order, money slips away quickly. This is why so many hardworking people remain broke. They earn enough, but they lack the systems to make their money stay and grow. Money, like water, requires a container. If you have no structure, it leaks. When money touches your hand, it silently asks, "Where do I belong?" If you have no categories, such as saving, investing, giving, and spending, it disappears into random purchases. That's why a person can make more income than ever before and still feel broke. Increase without order creates frustration, not freedom. Research has shown that households with a simple budget accumulate 2 to 3 times more wealth than those who live without one. The reason is not always the amount they earn, it's the order in which they manage it. Every dollar has an assignment, and when you give it structure, it multiplies. A man once shared how he began dividing his income into specific percentages: 10% for giving, 20% for saving and investing, 50% for living expenses, and 20% for growth and fun. At first, it seemed restrictive, but over time, he realized his money no longer vanished without a trace. Instead, it began to grow in the places he assigned it. His financial peace came not from earning more, but from organizing what he already had. Chaos is the enemy of multiplication. If you cannot manage $100 with order, you will mismanage $10 with stress. Order proves to money that it is safe in your hands. And just like people trust environments where there is security, money stays where there is structure. Money is one of the most dangerous tools when it is driven by pride. Many people fall into the trap of using it to prove their worth, impress others, or buy status. The result is temporary satisfaction but long-term emptiness. When money becomes about ego, it never multiplies. It only drains. True multiplication happens when money is attached to purpose. Purpose gives money direction, and direction gives it power. Think about a person who uses their income to fund education, launch a business, or support a charitable cause. Their money is working towards something greater than themselves. Over time, this creates lasting impact and continuous flow. A businessman once testified that the moment he stopped trying to buy things to show off and began investing in projects that aligned with his vision, his finances changed. Instead of wasting money on luxury cars to impress clients, he built a training center for young professionals. That center not only expanded his influence, but also became another source of income. His money shifted from ego to assignment, and as a result, it multiplied. When money lacks mission, it becomes misused. How many people have drained their income on clothing, gadgets, and social appearances, only to realize later they have nothing to show for it? But when money is attached to purpose, it leaves a trail of growth, opportunity, and progress. The truth is, money will always ask, am I here to feed pride, or am I here to fulfill vision? Your answer determines if it multiplies or vanishes. Hoarding money may feel safe, but in reality, it limits growth. Money was designed to move. Just like blood must flow through the body to give life, money must circulate to produce increase. When it sits idle, it loses value through inflation and missed opportunities. Circulation does not mean reckless spending. It means strategic flow. Giving generously, investing wisely, and creating opportunities are ways money keeps moving while growing. A farmer never hoards all his seeds in the barn. If he does, nothing grows. Instead, he plants them in the soil, knowing some will produce 30-fold, 60-fold, and even 100-fold. There was a woman who saved aggressively, but she never invested. For years, she kept her money hidden in a simple account with almost no growth. Over time, inflation ate away at its value. Meanwhile, another person with far less money began investing small amounts into a mutual fund, giving to charitable work, and starting a side business. Within years, her money began working harder than she did. She circulated it wisely, and it came back multiplied. Hoarding is rooted in fear, the fear of loss, the fear of not having enough. Circulation is rooted in faith, the belief that when you release resources with wisdom, more will come. Money that hides dies, money that flows grows. The key is not how much you keep locked away, but how effectively you direct what you release. Money does not follow need, it follows value. Many people believe they should earn more simply because they work hard or because they have pressing needs. But the reality is, the marketplace does not reward need. It rewards value. You don't get paid what you want. You get paid for the problems you solve. Think about a doctor and a factory worker. Both work hard, both give effort, but the doctor has invested years in education, training, and specialization. The value he provides in saving lives attracts greater financial reward. It is not about fairness. It is about value. The same principle applies to everyone. The more value you bring, the more money is magnetized toward you. A young man once complained about being underpaid at his job. Instead of quitting, he decided to increase his skills. He learned data analysis, presentation design, and project management. Within a year, his employer recognized his added value and doubled his pay. What changed was not the job itself, but the value he brought to it. If you want money to multiply in your life, you must become a person of increasing value. This may mean gaining new skills, developing character, building better habits, or learning how to serve people at a higher level. The marketplace always rewards excellence. Customers, clients, and even employers are drawn to people who solve problems with skill and consistency. Money is attracted to value like metal to a magnet. Your value is your wealth. The moment you stop growing in value, your income begins to stagnate. But when you continually expand your capacity, money has no choice but to follow. The greatest test of wealth is not how it sustains you today, but how it impacts others tomorrow. True multiplication is generational. When money is multiplied beyond your lifetime, it becomes legacy. Legacy means your resources keep working, serving, and blessing long after you are gone. History is full of examples of people whose money outlived them. Schools, hospitals, and charitable foundations bear the names of men and women who decided to plant financial seeds that future generations would enjoy. They understood that wealth without legacy is incomplete. What good is it to accumulate resources that die with you, when they could have continued to feed families, educate children, or create opportunities for years to come? A father once shared how he built his business with the intention of passing it down to his children. Instead of consuming all his profits, he reinvested and taught his family the principles of stewardship. Today, even after his passing, that business continues to provide for his children and grandchildren. His money didn't stop at his hands. It flowed into generations. Legacy requires intentionality. It means saving and investing not just for personal comfort, but for the future of others. It means teaching financial wisdom to children so they don't waste what you built. It means aligning money with vision so that even when your voice is silent, your resources still speak. Wealth that ends with you was never true wealth. Money that multiplies beyond you becomes a river that never dries. So every time you touch money, remember it's not just paper, it's potential. It's not just currency, it's seed. What you do in that moment determines if it multiplies or disappears. Treat your money with order, assign it to purpose, release it in faith, and multiply your value. And you'll be shocked how fast money multiplies in your hands.